Number one.
Notre Dame with a miracle win as the
He's going in. Notre Dame has scored.
Manti, just how do you view the atmosphere at Oklahoma and that 79-4 home record that they have under Bob Stoops?
It's an incredible accomplishment. Obviously, they're a really good football team, and they've been a really good football team. But we're going to prepare the way we've always been preparing, and we're not going to do anything different.
Looks like Landry Jones has been getting into more of a comfort zone last couple games. What have you seen on film from him in those games?
He's just doing what Landry Jones does. He executes. He slings the ball around. He's very accurate, and his O-line does a good job in protecting him. So we understand what they like to do, and we have 2 more days to get ready, and it's going to be good.
Is it maybe more important with him to get him out of a groove early so he doesn't kind of get flowing and everything to get pressure on him?
I think it's with any kind of quarterback, it's always good to get some pressure on him, and I know our D-line will really focus on that and keep doing what they're doing, and so obviously when we're going to pressure him, we're going to pressure him. When we're going to drop, we're going to drop. So it all depends, and so whatever coach calls, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Over here, I want to ask you a little bit about Blake Bell and what you see from him on film and how you go about stopping a guy that big.
You just hit him. It's nothing different. At the end of the day, you bring him to the ground. So it's not anything different.
How have you guys prepared for him this week?
Who, Blake Bell?
No.
It's nothing different. He runs the same as anybody else. Obviously, he's bigger than normal running backs, but like I said, it's football. It's nothing different.
Oklahoma in general has been pretty good in the red zone this year. I think they've only had one trip where they haven't scored. That's been a strong point for your defense. Does the mentality change for you guys once you get inside the red zone?
I think the mentality, wherever we are, we want to get a stop. And especially when we're in the red zone, we understand where the end zone is. It's very close, and so we're just trying to limit points, and obviously a touchdown, is worth a lot of points. So for us, when we're in the red zone, we understand that we have to really tighten down and understand where we're at on the field.
Does having less space behind you, I guess, when you're in the red zone, does that make it easier to tighten down or change sort of the way you approach stopping an offense?
I think for the defense, you just have to understand who you're going up against. It poses different situations, I think, for the offense. On defense, we just play the same. Obviously, we'll probably be, a lot more on body than we usually are, because we understand, that the end zone is so close. So for us, we just gotta, keep doing what we're doing.
You're right. I think a lot of us expected Theo Riddick to have a strong year with his move back to running back, but not many knew he was such a physical north-south guy for kind of an undersized ex-slot receiver, really. Did you know that of him when he was the slot receiver? Was it kind of a surprise in the spring to see him run like that?
No, I think, Theo came in as a running back. He's naturally a running back, and so we saw glimpses of that. Everybody knows Theo to be, like a jump cut runner, but Theo's actually just a north and south dude who, just utilizes his agility whenever he needs to. So, to see Theo doing what he's doing is no surprise to us, and he's going to continue to do that.
Switching to your side of scrimmage, wrote something the other day that Danny Spond and Manti Te'o rarely come off the field. How far has Danny Spond come in the last year to be mentioned like that?
It's like I said before. Danny has sacrificed a lot and put a lot of hard work into this team. He's dedicated himself, and he could have easily, just threw in the towel, when he got in that little injury that he had. But I think it motivated him even more to come back bigger, stronger, and faster. And to play the amount of snaps that he's playing, it takes a lot. It takes a toll on your body, and for him to do what he's doing and be doing the things he's doing so well speaks a lot to his dedication and his commitment to this team.
Manti, just to get back to that whole Blake Bell package, why do teams have a hard time hitting him? What does Oklahoma do so well to keep guys off of him?
Well, they block. First of all, they block well, and Blake Bell is really patient. He's a really patient runner, and when he sees daylight, he attacks really well. So for us, everybody has to be in their fit. We have to understand where our team is going to be, and fit off of them. And so I think when that happens, we know what to expect and we know what they like to do. So we'll adjust then.
This big picture, we were talking to Coach Kelly yesterday just about enjoying the journey a little bit, and I was just kind of curious from a player's perspective. Do guys sometimes, is it easy to lose sight of that? Is it easy to get caught up in games and results and statistics and not enjoy the little things and the day-to-day stuff? Yeah,
I think, every player is different. I think for a veteran player, we tend to, look at things as, as a day-to-day routine. For younger guys, I think it's easy to kind of be distracted by, the end result. But I think, our team this year has done a really good job in just focusing on the now. Just focus on what we're doing now. Today's Wednesday, so it's working Wednesday, and focus on getting better today. And then we'll focus on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. So I think, in that case, we've done a pretty good job.
When did that happen for you, that you could just focus on Wednesday for the sake of focusing on Wednesday and not think about it in terms of, okay, I'm doing this for Saturday?
I think, I've always had that mentality of, taking advantage of every day, but I think more so since it's my senior year, and I understand that every day is important because it helps me prepare myself for Saturday. So I think for me, I just always look at every day to get better, to get healthier, and as long as I'm better today than I was yesterday, and at the end of today, as long as I can look back and say, I've improved and I've made some strides.
What were you like as a sophomore?
Just somebody that's always excited for the game, and just looking forward to the game.
And just ask you about one of your teammates, Prince. I don't think that setting the edge it doesn't show up in a stat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not something that's all that enjoyable to do either. But how has his improvement in that part of his game really helped your defense?
I think, when you have somebody like Prince Shumbo, first of all, we had Darius Fleming there last year, and Darius did a great job in always setting the edge and making sure that the ball is always inside of our defense. And then you have somebody like Prince who, those are pretty big shoes to fill with Darius. But Prince has done a tremendous job in not only just setting edge, but being a player, being a weapon out there. And Prince is, if you look at him, he's not that big compared to the guys he's going up against. But when you watch the tape, that little 6'1" dude is folding 6'8", 300-pound lineman. And so I'm just happy to be on the same side as Prince Shumbo.
I realize everyone is key to your defense, and you guys talk about being 1/11th of the defense. But is that kind of a big 1/11th to have a guy that the ball carrier is not going to get outside, that you can trust that he's going to get kicked back in?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to saying, from what I was saying, everybody has to do their job. And if Prince wasn't on the outside, and obviously, it causes a lot of, hesitation because you don't know where the ball's going to go. At least when you know that Prince is outside, that the ball's going to go inside of Prince. And so, when you know that, you can move a lot faster, and there's not that much thinking that goes into it.
Manti, can you just talk about Cap and how good of a leader he's been for this team?
Cap has been a really good leader. He's been that vocal guy who, there's a play on this past Saturday where he literally stood up during a cadence of the quarterback and was making checks with his D-line. And so you knew who the captain was, on the field. And Cap, he really embraces that responsibility as the captain of our team. And, he works every day to not only be a better captain, but most importantly, be a better football player.
How important is this game for Notre Dame?
It's very important because it's the next game. We have the opportunity to go up against a good team and be in, an opponent's stadium, so it's definitely a big game for us.
Is this a signature game type of game, one of those that can really cement where you guys are?
I think at this point, every game is a signature game. Every game is important, and so we approach it every game that way. And I think we've come a long way. And I think at this point in time in the season, every game is a signature game.
Manti, can you just talk a little bit about what the emotions are like on the team right now? Coach was saying yesterday, about the excitement, and of course it's a big game. So just how the team's reacting.
I think we're all excited to play Oklahoma. I think a lot of us are trying to anticipate what it's going to look like. We understand that we've played in pretty friendly environments for quite some time now. We've played in 2 home games, and we played in Miami, in Chicago against Miami, which was pretty much a home game. And so we haven't really played in a hostile environment since Michigan State. And so, we're really looking forward to going over there and playing a good game and playing against a good football team. So we're all excited.
As one of the leaders on the team, how much of a role do you play in, working with those young guys and keeping them excited, but at the same time keeping them humble and ready to go in there and put their nose to the grindstone?
Yeah, I think, it's, for me and the rest of the leaders on our team, it's very important for us to, stress the importance to our younger guys of remembering what brought us here. And I think, a lot of teams stumble because they forget what brought them to this point, what brought us to 7-0. And it was hard work. It was focusing on the daily tasks, just focusing on the little things. I think as you progress through the season, you start to think big picture. Start to think, we're 7-0. Now we have the chance to be 12-0. Well, we have a good team coming up, and so we can't look past that, and we have to just look at Oklahoma and what they do, and work on being 8-0.
All right, let's see if we have any questions from the callers. Do we have any questions from the callers?
At this time, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. Once again, it's star, then 1 to ask a question. We'll pause for a moment to allow any questions to queue. And at this time, there are no phone questions.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.